Good morning, everyone. So sorry for the delay. That's English. I have been having a little trouble speaking recently, so I apologize if at any point today I fumble, stumble, or bumble over my words. But this is your Real Take Wrestling Royal Rumble 2023 review. There's a whole lot of stuff to talk about, but also at the same time, not a lot of stuff to talk about. You got the Royal Rumble matches happening, that happened last night. Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes won those matches respectively, and they're going to be going on to the main event of WrestleMania. Guys, by the way, if you guys have a question, put it in the chat. If you guys want to guarantee your question or statement gets read out on the air, be sure to support us and leave a super chat. Super chats are a great way to support us and what we do here. Also, be sure to hit that thumbs up, all that jazz. First things first, let's talk about general impressions of this Royal Rumble pay-per-view as a whole. Going into it, there were a lot of there was a lot of stuff that was fairly predictable, if we're being honest. I think everyone basically had the same people as their odds-on favorites to win the match, like the Royal Rumble matches, and we knew that in some way things were going to culminate with Bloodline and Sami Zayn. We just were not sure exactly how that would happen. And it did happen in one of the most awesome ways ever. But without further ado, let's just get right into the show. Show kicked off with the men's Royal Rumble match. This is, I believe, the first time that the men's Royal Rumble has kicked off the show since, I believe, 2013. I know in 2013 it didn't close the show. I remember in 2006 they also had it open the show as well. But yes, men's Royal Rumble, big surprises were abundant because you saw Logan Paul, Booker T, the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar showed up out of absolutely nowhere. Brock Lesnar came in. He came in at about, I think, number 10 or so. And he was only in for 3 minutes, but my, oh my, those were some. He came in at number 12. I apologize. He came in at number 12, and he absolutely destroyed people for the 2 minutes, 30 seconds he was in. Eliminated 3 people, was eventually eliminated by the person who came in number 13 in Bobby Lashley. And it's obviously they're setting up the WrestleMania feud to be, or the WrestleMania match, I should say, to be Lesnar versus Lashley. You can see when Lesnar got eliminated, he had a big smile on his face. And they ran an angle, I believe, recently on Raw as well to kind of hint towards this. And it looks like we're getting that. The Lesnar versus Lashley match, it's not for the title, so you're not, kind of stalled with booking of having to be like, oh, we got to have Brock win, I guess, because Brock has the title. That's what WWE likes to do. But overall, I mean, Lesnar and Lashley, I think, is good. This Rumble, in a weird way, did a really good job of kind of building up, some storylines and building stuff up, and I really like that. We also saw Dominic Mysterio enter the match at number 18 after he had apparently beat down Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was supposed to come out at number 17. He did not. Instead, we got Dominic Mysterio coming out with Rey's mask after a beatdown. And look, it's a way to do it. That's another way to build up a match. Dominic Mysterio actually lasted quite a while in this match. Over 25 minutes of Dominic Mysterio in this match. And guys, he wasn't complete garbage. So I like this new Dom. And I want to be very clear about this. I like this new Dominic Mysterio. I think it's way more interesting than what he was doing earlier on in his career in WWE. And I think it's cool. Now all there's left to do is for them to play Eddie Guerrero's second theme, Gangsta Lane, when he comes out at WrestleMania, just to play mind games with Rey Mysterio. That would be just the cherry on top. Mwah. Could you imagine that? It's about time I step into the gangster lane. Like that would be cool. Epic. Yeah, awesome. We also saw the Judgment Day were really the faction of this Royal Rumble because you had Dominic Mysterio come out first. Then at number 20, you had Dominic Mysterio come out at 18. Then at 20, you had Finn Balor. And 22, you had Damian Priest. So there was a while there where you had all three members of the Judgment Day, or all three male members, I should say, of the Judgment Day come out and really dominate for about I would say like a 10-minute period in this match. Dominic Mysterio somehow outlasted all of them, so kudos to him. Booker T returned. We saw the return of Edge as well, who just speared the ever-living daylights out of every member of the Judgment Day and beat them down on their way back. And the last big surprise here was at number 29, Logan Paul. Yes, Logan Paul entered the Royal Rumble at 29, eliminating Seth freaking Rollins. And I'm assuming that this is going to build up between the Seth Rollins and Logan Paul match at Mania, because of the way that Logan Paul was just kind of talking trash after he had eliminated Rollins. Oh, that was cool. My MVP, though, and I talked about this in my reaction video last night, my MVP of this match is none other than Gunther. My man came in at number 1. The Intercontinental Champion comes in at number 1 and outlasts 28 other men to be the last person in the match, with the eventual winner, as we know, who was Cody Rhodes. He lasted 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds in this match. And you know how, like, when you have, they usually have, like, an Iron Man in the Royal Rumble, and, you know, they're off in the corner somewhere or whatever. It's so weird. This dude was, like, always doing something in this match, from what I can remember and what I was noticing. Like, I would always see him. He's either beating down someone. He's never, like, really resting, you know, clutching the ropes and doing that whole spiel. He's never resting. He was an active participant in this match for the entire record-setting 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds he was in the match, which is great. He now has the record for the longest time in the Rumble, outside of, I believe, the greatest Royal Rumble, which Daniel Bryan was in that for, like, 4 hours or whatever, because it was, like, a 50-man Rumble, but still, MVP of the night goes to him. He unfortunately did not win the Royal Rumble. That honor, of course, went to the one, the only, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And I'm one of those people who, like, obviously was, like, a big fan of Cody when he was doing his indie run in ROH, New Japan, all that stuff. And when he came to AEW, it's still weird because Cody wasn't around in WWE for long enough in this past run in 2022. He wasn't around because he got injured, obviously, at Hell in a Cell, or right before Hell in a Cell. He wasn't around long enough for me to really, like, digest the fact that he's in WWE. It's still weird. It is still weird with the music, the presentation. It's like, I'm like, this is just something. I mean, it's not that it's, like, bad. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not even saying it's not good. It's still good, but it's still kind of like, is this happening? It's still a bit of a fever dream to me, but regardless, Cody comes out at number 30. He wins by last eliminating Gunther. Him and Gunther had, like, a 10-minute, like, period at the end where they just beat the ever-living crap out of each other. Gunther was going off with those chops on Cody's injured pec. Like, Cody even talked about it afterwards. He's like, yeah, he did his best to injure the other pec, but luckily it held up. So overall, I thought this was a good Rumble. Is it like an all-time great Rumble? No, I don't think so, but it didn't need to be. This Rumble accomplished everything that it needed to in the I think the record-setting 1 hour, whatever minutes it was, and I like. Again, it's my main thing about the Rumble is you have this tool where you have, like, a good chunk of your roster out there fighting for this one goal. And when someone gets in the way of that goal, what happens? You get mad at them, and then, you know, there's a feud that can start there. There were multiple feuds started, or at least continued, in this Royal Rumble, and I love to see that. It's something that's been missing from the Royal Rumble for a very long time, and I'm just happy it's back. I think Triple H did a very good job booking his first Royal Rumble. Speaking of Triple H booking, he also booked this fight, Bray Wyatt versus L.A. Knight. I have been a defender of Bray Wyatt for a very long time. I was the biggest fan of The Fiend you could probably find. I love the Firefly Funhouse. I love the Firefly Funhouse match. I don't care what anyone says. There is room for spookiness in pro wrestling. But as I said a few days ago on Wrestling with Omer, which you can catch live right here on the channel, subscribe. I am fine with spookiness, and I like spookiness in pro wrestling, unless it's absolute garbage. This, the Mountain Dew pitch black match, absolute hot, stinking, out in the sun of Bakersfield, California for 6 hours, baking trash. Like there's no room to defend this. Indefensible. This was like they had the neon lights. Let me see if I have more. Do I have more? I hope not. They had the neon lights. Everyone was glowing up. This was, you know what this was? This was not a wrestling match. This was capitalism. This was an advertisement for Mountain Dew and nothing else. Mountain Dew sponsored a match, and WWE said, we are going to put Bray Wyatt in this and turn the lights off and make it spooky dooky Mountain Dew capitalism. Whatever. It was spooky and it was also dookie. We could all agree on those two things. Yeah, it sucked. It absolutely sucked. No defense. I can't defend it. And I'm someone who was like, okay, let's see where they're going. Like, Bray Wyatt obviously won, and it was like a 5-minute nothing bathroom break match after what was like an hour and 11-minute Royal Rumble. Man, you can't defend this. I'm so sorry. Like, I say this as a Bray Wyatt fan. Indefensible. Moving on, Bianca Belair defended her WWE Raw. It was a Raw match. Bianca Belair defended her WWE Raw Women's World Championship against Alexa Bliss. Stand up, shut up, and fight me. Well, Bianca did that, and in 7 minutes, 30-something seconds, she got the dub over Alexa Bliss. It was fine for what it was. It didn't really do anything. It was kind of just a match, and when you have when you're trying to fill time between like 3 big matches, the women's rumble, the men's rumble, and then the main event, which was the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens match, like I think it's like one of those things where this match was never going to be like a 20-minute barn burner, which these two are more than capable of. It was just going to be what it was, and kind of just, we're going to do this, move things along with the feud, and just kind of show that Bianca Belair is a fighting champion who wins. And that is what they did here. They showed that Bianca Belair is a fighting champion who fights every pay-per-view, who wins, and that's because she's that damn good. And in my book, that's fine. That's fine. Again, people are going to be like, oh, well, this was a real bathroom break match. No, my friends, as a Bray Wyatt fan, the Mountain Dew pitch black absolute dog crap match was the bathroom break. This was fine. Let's move on. Talk about the Women's Rumble, guys. Women's Royal Rumble match was won by none other than the odds-on favorite going into it, which was Rhea Ripley, who, by the way, came out at number 1, lasting 1 hour, 1 minute, and 7 seconds in the match. Rhea Ripley won the Rumble. She's going to go on to face whichever champion she chooses, because unlike the Universal/WWE title picture, there are 2 champions. So Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, one of those two is going to have their title taken away by Rhea Ripley, because that's what should happen. I think Rhea Ripley should win everything. Anyway, but we saw Rhea come out at 1, Liv Morgan come out at 2, Dana Brooke, Emma, Shayna Baszler, and then Bayley. Oh boy, those were the first 6 participants in the match, followed by B-Fab and my girl Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez came in, had like a nice little showcase thing where they do for the NXT people. She's obviously the NXT Women's Champion. Again, really good showcase for her, but the story really of this Royal Rumble really became the dominance of Damage Control. Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai came in there and just ran a roughshod through a lot of people. Like, I'm looking at the people they eliminated right now. They eliminated Dana Brooke. They eliminated Shayna Baszler. They eliminated Roxanne Perez. They eliminated Natalya. Like, they went on a tear. They also helped eliminate Nia Jax at the end. So, like, they went on a tear for a by the way, Nia Jax returned. We'll talk about that in a second. But they went on a tear in this match and just absolutely, like, dogged people and beat them down and looked like the team that a lot of people wanted them to be, a lot of people expected them to be, which I thought was cool. Now you juxtapose that to Nia Jax, who returned. Nia Jax returned and came in at number 30. They actually botched her entry because they had the counter up. They had the 10-9, the countdown up, and then you just see, like, as the clock hits 9, Nia Jax's music starts playing. You see her Titantron, her, like, graphics pop up on the ring, and you're just like, I'm not like most girls who only. I am not gonna make an anti-vax joke here. Nor should I. It would have been funny though. Anyway, Nia Jax came in at number 30. Lasted all of 2 minutes. She was the big surprise in this. Her and Michelle McCool, by the way, she came in as a surprise entry in this match too. She came in and just kind of like was in the crowd with her kids. Comes in, takes off her like sweater, and then just like belts it to the ring, does her thing, gets eliminated because that's the legend spot in the Rumble, right? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, Chelsea Green also returned. That is a thing that happened that was really overshadowed by the fact that she only got to be in the Rumble for all of 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds. That wasn't great, but we'll see. It's good to see Chelsea Green back. And yeah. Anyway, back to it. I think like really the only feud that I remember being set up in this match, or continued at least, that we might see at WrestleMania was Becky Lynch and Bayley. Because Bayley actually eliminated Becky Lynch in this match, and the look that the man Becky Lynch gave her was absolute, like, seething afterwards. And then obviously, like, Bayley was eliminated by Liv Morgan as she was celebrating eliminating Becky Lynch, and Becky just goes in and beats the ever-living crap out of Bayley, and the other members of Damage Control come out to help her, and Becky Lynch is like 3-on-1 or 1-on-3 assaulting these 3 women, and it is like, this is the man Becky Lynch that I wanted to see for a very long time, and I'm glad we get to see it in this way. Moving on, we got Rhea Ripley did win this match. I humbly apologize. And there was a cool spot at the end. So there was a spot at the end where Rhea Ripley head scissored Asuka out on the ring apron. So you had Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and then Liv Morgan, who was also out on the ring apron. The last 3 competitors in this match. Asuka goes to throw mist in Rhea Ripley's eyes. Rhea ducks. It ends up hitting Liv directly in the face. Rhea Ripley then takes the opportunity to eliminate Asuka, and it's down to Rhea and Liv. And you think, okay, it's over. Rhea's going to win this easily. Not so fast, my friends. Rhea Ripley tries to go to eliminate Liv Morgan, but Liv kind of fights back a little bit and had Rhea on the ropes. Like, she was about to be eliminated. But then, Rhea Ripley won because Rhea Ripley was going to win this match. She goes on to Mania. She is the most over thing. She's the most over. I'm trying to word this right. She should have won this match. This was the right decision, is what I'm saying. There is no one who has the momentum. There we go. Of any in that division than Rhea Ripley does right now, and she deserves it. I'm glad that she's going to have the moment that she was kind of underwhelmed back at Mania 37. I think that was when she had that match against Asuka, I believe. I think it's going to be cool. There's a whole new Rhea Ripley. She's like basically the leader now of the Judgment Day, which I think is dope. And again, we get to see her in a whole new light as a new star, and I'm here for it. I'm along for the ride. Moving on, you had the main event. Sorry, before the main event, you had the worst concert in wrestling history. They kept saying throughout the night, I did not know this, right? Apparently, Hardy is a band, okay? So the entire night, right, Corey Graves is making reference to, oh, it's like, oh, this is worse than Hardy, or this is better than Hardy, blah, blah, blah. Hardy. I keep hearing Hardy. And I'm like, what the hell? Did AEW release Jeff Hardy or something? Like, what is happening? Why do they keep mentioning Hardy? And then I found out Hardy is like a band, or sorry, is like this country pop star who, by the way, I have never heard of this man in my life. Never heard of this man in my life. They had him play. First of all, the worst thing you can do at a live wrestling show is play music. Ain't nobody there for the songs, bro. Unless you got like Limp Bizkit. I will in a wrestling setting, I will mark out to Limp Bizkit. You're not gonna get me to sing along to no Kid Rock. You're not gonna get me to sing along to no damn Hardy, whatever this crap was. I even had country music people watching this show text me and be like, I don't claim this. I don't claim that this is not good country. This is, sir, no. And it wasn't good anything. It was crap. Yeah. Universally panned. Never do it again. God help us all. Anyway, main event time. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns, the champ who runs the camp, the big dog in the backyard, the doghouse, and the leader of the tribal chief. You know what he is. He came out with Sami Zayn, was not flanked by the Usos nor Solo Sikoa. He said that he wants Sami to come out with him, and he wants Sami to do nothing. Remember that. In the backstage segment, he told Sami to do nothing. Sami comes out with him, and do nothing he did not do. But this was the big match. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, a rematch of the Royal Rumble 2021, where they had that really good last man standing match, which really gets forgotten because of the pandemic. So these two come out, and they put on a pretty good match. I mean, there were some really cool spots here. I loved the spot where Roman hits the referee by accident, and then Kevin Owens does the pop-up powerbomb, and you hear the crowd and Michael Cole like count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like goes up to 6. So Kevin Owens won this match twice over, but did not win officially because there was no referee in the match. And and at that point you like knew that, okay, any small semblance of a hope that Kevin Owens had of being booked to win this match was all but gone. And then the beatdown really started. Then we saw Kevin Owens prone on the outside. Roman was beating him, just bashing his head against stairs, like the spot where Roman took, like, as you can see right here from this photo via WWE, Roman took Kevin Owens' head and bashed it on the edge of the step, like repeatedly, not once, not twice. It was bad. It looked terrible. I winced, and like, we all know wrestling's fake, but I winced when I saw it. Like, I was like, what the hell? That looks like it hurts. I couldn't handle that pain. And Sami's looking on, and he's looking conflicted, and he's looking like he does not want to be here. He's uncomfortable watching his tribal chief beat down his best friend, the man who was a best man at his wedding. And there's this really like cool storytelling spot where Owens is on the outside and he's trying to get up, and Sami's like talking to him, like, just stay down. Just stay down. It's over. Stay down. And he uses Sami to help him up. At which point Roman Reigns, running start, like spears Kevin Owens through the barricade. They get back into the ring. Roman Reigns reverses a pop-up powerbomb into a super man punch. Spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman once again reigns supreme at the Royal Rumble, successfully defends his WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. At which point, the Usos come out. Solo Sikoa comes out to join them in celebration. And they then decide to beat down Kevin Owens. They absolutely pulverize him. The Usos hit him with multiple super kicks. They handcuff Solo Sikoa, hits him with that spike. They handcuff him to the ropes. And eventually, they do this thing where they're about to give Sami Zayn a wreath to officially welcome him as an official member of the Bloodline. And Roman says, wait. He takes a chair and he gets ready to hit Kevin Owens. Sami stops him. As you can see right here, Sami stops him and says, no, you don't need to do this. Roman waits. He's confused because he's like, did you just get in my way? I'm the tribal chief. But then he thinks about it and he says, you're right. I shouldn't be the one to do this. And he hands the steel chair to Sami Zayn. And he forces Sami Zayn to choose Bloodline or Kevin Owens. And Sami, conflicted as all hell, takes his time, thinks about it, and as Roman Reigns is talking trash to Kevin Owens, takes a steel chair to the back of the tribal chief, hits Roman Reigns, puts the chair down, looks directly at Jey Uso and says, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. And Jimmy Uso super kicks him. Solo Sikoa, Samoan spikes him. They beat down Sami Zayn. This was the official beatdown of Sami Zayn. They look at the. I just remember watching this. This was last night, right? I was watching this and I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've seen in wrestling ever. Like, genuinely, one of the greatest moments I've witnessed in wrestling ever. Like, an all time. Like, we're gonna be talking about this in 50 years type of thing. Like, the pop that Sami Zayn got when he hit Roman Reigns with that chair was absolutely out of this world. And then on top of it all, you had the Bloodline beating down Sami Zayn. All the while, Jey Uso's in the corner, just perplexed, frustrated, conflicted himself. And they end up looking at Jey Uso and they're like, what are you going to do? Jimmy, who's Jay's twin brother, looks at him and is like, that's your brother? That's your brother? He's not your brother. I'm your brother. Jey Uso then, he looks like he's going up. I thought he was going to go up for a frog splash or an Uso splash. He just walks away. Conflicted, confused, hands on his mouth like this. He walks away. All the way down the ramp, at which point Roman Reigns is absolutely irate, yelling at Sami Zayn that you broke up my family. And he wails on him with a chair, absolutely demolishes him with a chair multiple times, and then lays him out. The wreath, the flowers that were on the wreath that he was going to put over Sami Zayn, he takes them and he drops the rose petals. He drops the flower petals all over Sami, almost to signal a burial. And so at the end of the day, Sami chose friendship. Sami chose friendship over the Bloodline. Jey Uso is confused and isn't with the Bloodline right now. Roman Reigns is as angry as ever while he has Cody Rhodes breathing down the back of his neck. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Forget everything else. If this pay-per-view was just that last match and segment that we watched, all-time great pay-per-view. Like 10 out of 10, would recommend to everyone. In actuality, I would say this pay-per-view as a whole is like, it's still good to great pay-per-view. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Which again is good. Obviously the Pitch Black match was an absolute bust and it was terrible and I don't even want to talk about it. The Bianca versus Alexa match was what it was and was what it was supposed to be, which was just a showcase for Bianca Belair. And the Rumble matches were fine. But the main event was the main event. Like there's no other way to put it. That segment, like I'm gonna go back here. the acting here. Look at Roman's face. He's legitimately like looking at Sami Zayn as if he's hurt. It hurt him to do this. And I mean, it was just great. Like, we're gonna be looking back at this as one of the all-time great segments of all time. Of all time. Hey, how many more times can I say that? Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought about the Rumble in the comments section below. If you're watching live, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, this was my Royal Rumble review. Be happy, be healthy, and keep it real.